Hey guys, I hope you're all well. Okay, today, I suppose you could call it a little bit of an how-to. I don't normally bother going down that road, but I'm going to show you a little bit of something on this. Some of you may already know how to do this in the nicest, neatest way possible, and that's joining tubes. So what I've got here is some sidebars we are making for mine and a friend's van. As you see, we've got them all down there, and we've put these ends on. As you can see, they'll sit on the van lights, so we've got to trim the curves down a little bit more because we want them quite close to the van. But this join here, these ends actually fit really nice to the size of the tube we've got, which is a good thing, because sometimes you can get a slight mismatch in sizes, which, you know, if the materials are thick enough, you can dress in fairly easy. So what I'm going to do is weld this up and dress it up so we get more or less a perfect radius, because I see it so many times. Although these are sidebars for a van, this process can be used on bikes, obviously framework and stuff like that. I see no end of times where people will make themselves a subframe for a different seat on their bikes, and the joins they do are questionable. And it's really simple. It's really simple to get right, and I'll show you the mistake that them people are making, and to correct it, it's just so simple. Anyway, I'm going to weld this one up, and then we're going to dress it up so you cannot see that join. Although obviously you're going to see it where we've welded it and dressed it up, but when it's in paint or powder, that will be completely invisible. Right, let's weld that up. Also, you don't have to be the best welder. As long as it's penetrated, you'll be fine. The wonderful grinder makes us all look like great welders. Anyway, let me do this and then we'll get it dressed up. Before we get started, is another little thing to take note of. Always put the earth on your job and not on the bench, even if you have got a steel bench, because when you're welding and you're rolling the tube round, it will arc on the bench and make a complete mess of the surface of your job. It will burn it out. So always have the earth connected to the job. Right, let's get some weld on this. Before we get cracking on the actual job, got this bit of offcut. So the first thing people seem to do is grind that way. What you end up doing it that way is loads of flats on the material, and when that's painted, that really sticks out like a sore thumb. So what we need to do, let me get my glove back on. You have to bear with me with this, I'm a bit slow at the minute. Is rotate the tube. Or the grinder, or both. So while we're grinding, I'm just concentrated on the weld as best as we can. You will hit the actual tubes and that a tiny bit, getting most of the grinding just done on the weld itself. There we go. So at this point you'll start seeing differences in the shapes from this bend to the tube. So we'll start seeing the steps in the weld. Obviously we've got one this side and we've got one that side. That's where we're going to start being careful, because we don't want to start concentrating on these little areas, then we'll have a welt in it. So we've got to still keep rolling round and not get tempted just to work on them bits. Gone in a bit better now. As soon as you've got that level, stop grinding, because we need to try and keep that radius as best we can. Let's just show you on this half here. Sometimes you'll get like little dips in the weld where you haven't quite got it right. It's best not to, I know it's very tempting to start grinding away at them. Just stop, put a little bit of weld in and then grind that back. Right, obviously on the inside it gets a bit trickier. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is just run the grinder. The weld's about there. Just quickly zip the grinder around in this area. And if we have got some slight changes down where the weld is, that'll hide it much better. So blend it in. Go. Right, if you're unsure, bit of a straight edge, and you pull that across where you've welded, and hopefully you won't see daylight where you've got a bit carried away and put a welt in there. As you can see, that's okay. That's the reason why I've ground back here as well, just to blend that off. Okay, there's one extra job I've got to do on this. On a couple of these bends, they're a little bit misshaped here. Only on two of them, I think it is. The rest are fine. Just there, there's a flat, and these are quite thick, so I've got enough material to disguise that. I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. So I'm just going to go and disguise that a little bit. I'm just going to run the grinder around the high spots of it and then do the radiusing round. I don't know if you'll see that a bit better now. This patch here. But we will lose it, not a problem. that's hidden it quite a bit. Plus, like I said earlier, we're going to be severing a fair chunk of this off because we want these bars as close as possible to the van. So there'll be a good bit of this coming off in the end. Right, depending on what you've got in your toolkit as to how far you can take this and how good you can get it. So next, I normally go over with this little belt grinder. You can get tube grinders, but they can be quite big and cumbersome. And for me at the minute, I have got one, but it'll be a bit tricky to handle that at the moment with my dodgy shoulder. So I've explained this loads of times in videos. There's a little void on these belts just here. It might not seem a lot, but it's just enough to get the radius of tube nice. What I'm doing with this is sort of blending the grinding marks out as well from the angle grinder. Okay, we're getting fairly close with that. Another thing you can use to your advantage is, like we got in this shed, strip lights. The reflection off them, as you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, on this tube you'll see the strip lights in the tube. You can also, like I say, use them to your advantage, trying to get them as straight as possible, the reflection of the strip lights in your workshop, shed or whatever, keeping them straight. You'll find people in body shops with paintwork and all that will use that method as well, any sort of reflection. In fact, I think they've probably got systems that they shine on paintwork to see if they've got any wobbles in reflections with light. So I also use that on the metalwork. You can see that's probably not looking absolutely brilliant at the minute, but I know the next step I take will make that look a lot better. So the next thing is the DA. Now all this kit, it's just cheap stuff. It's not high-end stuff. It does the same job. And yeah, I've had these for years and they've been brilliant. So the DA, let's have a look at this. The pad for the DA is soft. So that'll also help you follow the radiuses of the tube. So this is the next step we're taking. Right, that's starting to get to the stage what I'm happy with. Right, the inside here can be a bit tricky getting nice with the grinder. What you tend to do is sort of dig in with the grinder there and put little welts in if you're not careful. So I'll get so far with the grinder like we did, getting the welds back. And then if you've still got a bit of misshape there, you can sort of blend that out with a drum sander. Again, rolling the tube as you do it. And then we'll go to the DA again. I'll say if we're using this on its edge, and you're pressing on with that rubber backing, it will go round the radius of the tube nice. As you can see that. think we've about got that. That's looking fine. I haven't gone crazy all the way to the end, like I said earlier. It's about inch and a quarter coming off them ends to get these tubes closer to the van body. So I haven't gone crazy doing all the way up to the end. But we've certainly got a decent hidden joint there, and that's going to be more than good enough for the powder coating. Right then, to achieve all that, all we've used is the angle grinder. That's got a 36 grit disc in there. They're quite savage, so if you wanted to use a lesser grit for less chance of mistakes, that might be wise. I always use these sort of grinding discs because I don't like the flappy ones. You just don't get any feel with them. That's just my opinion. The drum sander for just dressing up on the inside of that radius does help. A little belt sander, no idea what grit that is, probably a 36 actually, because they're not marked up. That helps, just dressing your radiuses in as well. And the DA, what's that? I think that's 180 grit on that. Again, use what you feel comfortable with. So that's it, that's all the tools I've used, and obviously the welder. So these tools, most people have got a grinder, and these, like I say, these are just cheapo ones, and they've been going for years. They've lasted me well, and obviously you can put a drum sander into absolutely any drill at all. That's it, that's the tools I use. So there we are. Maybe that'll be of some use to you, I don't know. If not now, maybe sometime in the future, to get your little joins looking a lot better. Like I say, I quite often see people making the mistake of grinding flats into all these tubes, and it looks a mess. People think the powder coating at the end of it is the miracle cure, but no, you'll still see that mess under the powder coating when it's done. So I like to get everything as best as I can before powder coating, and obviously no filler. Anyway, yeah, so it's just basic tools really, and patience. Don't rush at it, because when you start rushing, that's when you start making mistakes. And also comfort, be comfortable, that is really critical as well. I suppose it's sort of similar to a tattoo artist. You'll notice anyone doing tattoos will make themselves very, very comfortable, because obviously they don't want to make a mess of you. So yeah, it's critical to be comfortable. If you start urching, if you get that thing fatiguing your wrists and hands while you're using a grinder, put it down, have a break. You'll find your jobs being a lot neater if you do that. So it's just simple really, not going straight with the grinder, follow it with the radius, roll the grind around or roll the job you're doing so you're following that radius and not going the opposite way and grinding flats into it. If you have any little low spots, little dips in the weld where you ain't quite welded it properly, don't try and ground them out. It's, you know, it's so tempting to do that. Stop immediately, get a little bit of weld in that area, and then carry on with your grinding. It's just like little simple bits that will make your end job look satisfactory. Anyway, I've got all the rest of these to carry on. Hopefully that little thing may help some of you in the future. Cheers for watching guys, take care.